Hey all, JTC here, and welcome back to another user-submitted gameplay review. Today's gameplay is submitted by Little Pim, who is playing Merc Kerber, so thank you for your submission, and let's go ahead and jump straight into it and look at the build that he provided for us. Now, here it says Blunderbuss, although in the gameplay you were running handgun, so my assumption is that you meant to put handgun, and you accidentally selected Blunderbuss, so we're going to pretend this says handgun. Now, for the properties that you're running, everything looks pretty normal except for the crit power. Crit power is not going to be useful to you as Mercenary Kerber, because crit power is only useful to crit careers using specific critical chance and critical power builds, which you are not, so it's not going to be useful to you. Instead, you should be running like Power versus Armored and Power versus Skaven to help you snipe specials better, or you should be running like 20% Power versus Chaos in order to help you kill Chaos Warriors and Maulers more easy. The only other thing that I wanted to point out or talk about was your choice of Temp HP talent. Temp HP on kill isn't necessarily bad, but for frontliners specifically, Temp HP on cleave, in this case, is going to be better, because as a frontliner, you're going to be fighting the general horde a lot more, which is going to be your trash enemies, which is not going to give you a lot of Temp HP from Temp HP on kill. When you're looking for sustainability as a frontliner, you want to select Temp HP on Cleave because it's going to give you a lot more bang for your buck, and it's going to let you keep up your Temp HP more, it's going to let you build your Temp HP easier, and it's going to allow you to stay in the front line more.
Impressive, but can you do it again?
So it looks like here you're trying to get some extra speed by spamming push attacks with the Executioner Sword, and while some weapons such as Sword and Dagger do have a move tech where you can spam pushes in order to get a speed boost, Executioner Sword is not one of these weapons, and you should not be doing that. Because if you're trying to spam pushes in the middle of a horde to get a boost, the boost you're going to get is so minimal, it's not going to make a difference, and you're just going to put yourself in extra danger. Really, you should be learning which weapons have this move tech if you want to do it. Like I said, Sword and Dagger is one of them. You can definitely do it on that weapon, but not every single weapon is going to have them, and if you do it with the wrong weapon, you're going to either A, do nothing, or most of the time you're going to do B and hurt yourself. Now, you might have been just doing this because you were bored. I do this sometimes too, but just in case you were doing this because you actually think you're getting some movement speed, I wanted to bring this up. So, I would encourage you, while you're attacking enemies with any kind of weapon that has a horizontal sweeping attack, like Executioner Sword or Tuskor Spear, I would encourage you to aim a little higher. Now, let me see if I can get kind of a good freeze frame here. Because right now, you're kind of aiming a little bit lower. Okay, this is fine. Right now, what you're doing is the enemies are coming to you. And what you're doing is you're attacking kind of their chest area, and you're still cleaving through a lot of enemies, but you're kind of cleaving through their chest and just doing a bunch of body shot damage. Now, if you were to instead aim a little higher, say kind of up here, you would be cleaving through their heads, which would in turn be doing a lot more damage. This is a super, super easy way that you can boost your DPS by a large margin with these kind of weapons that have horizontal sweep attacks, and that's simply by aiming a tiny bit higher. I see throughout this run that you consistently aim at the chest level, and I can promise you that your overall DPS would be a lot higher if you were just to aim a little bit higher and aim for their heads instead.
Oh, not for another one of those! Here's a potion! Wait, don't be affected!
So this is going to seem like a very minute thing that I'm going to praise you for, but regardless, this is actually something really good that you do here that I want to point out because not enough people do it. So in this instance, you have a patrol coming towards you, and you have this one little shit right in front of you, looking to ruin your day. And what you do right here is you just deliver one swift heavy attack to kill him. In this case, or really just in any case, if you have a singular enemy in front of you, no matter how weak or strong they are, you want to kill them as fast as possible, right? So what you want to do is you want to use your heaviest damaging attack to kill them. And in this case, the Executioner Sword's heaviest attack is going to be its overhead. And something that a lot of people don't really realize, I feel, is that you don't have to only use horizontal sweeps against trash enemies like this. You are allowed to use heavy attacks to insta-kill them. In fact, a lot of the times, insta-killing trash enemies like this is actually going to be really, really beneficial to you because it's going to allow you to divert your attention to other parts of the map faster. And especially in this instance, where you have a patrol coming towards you and you have a bunch of armor, you don't have time to have a bunch of trash guys in front of you trying to kill you. You need to eliminate them as fast as possible, and the fastest way to eliminate them in this case is through a heavy attack. So good job heavy attacking, and I would encourage you to keep heavy attacking single enemies like this if you can pick them off in order to kill them fast. So in this situation, you and the other three teammates of yours are fighting the Horde and clearing up the Horde by yourself when the engineer is completely out of position and is completely alone and gets pounced by an assassin and goes down. You aim your handgun to see if you can take a shot, but ultimately decide not to take the shot, which is the correct call in this case because no matter what you did, if you took the shot, you would have wasted a bullet and the engineer would have died anyway, so it's better just to not take the shot in this case and save the bullet. Now, you could make the argument that it's still good to take the shot to kill the assassin so your team doesn't have to deal with it, or the remaining three of your team, but considering that you just killed the entire Horde and the other Horde isn't at you yet, the assassin is realistically going to reach you towards the beginning of the Horde when the Horde is not going to be a problem for you guys yet, so the assassin is also not going to really be causing a threat, and you're going to be able to take care of him relatively quickly with melee, and therefore still not waste ammo. So in this case, taking a shot at all would have wasted some ammo, and by not taking a shot, you saved ammo, which is a good call. Okay, this next part isn't a gameplay review. I just needed to comment on this because it kind of bothers me when people does this. So the Barden, after he dies, says, Wiz's ult aggroed the patrol. My response to this? Who fucking cares? Seriously. You could argue, admittedly, you could argue that this would matter and you should care if the patrol caused a team wipe, because you could talk about why you pulled the patrol and talk about avoiding pulling patrols in the future, but in this case, the people who survived handled the patrol really, really well, and it was not a threat whatsoever. The only reason it was a threat for this engineer was because he wandered off on his own, tried to fight them solo, and got pounced by an assassin and died. If the engineer had been with the team, the engineer would not have died, and because of that, it's not the wizard's fault that he died in this case. It is not the wizard's fault at all. It is only the engineer's fault and his own alone, because he wandered off from the group. Now, I really dislike when people play the blame game and try to point fingers when they die, because just, y'all, if you die, own up to it, please. If you screw up and you die, please own up to it. Don't start playing the blame game and pointing fingers, because that is pretty damn toxic, and it really affects the group and the mood of the group, and it really brings the mood down. Now, don't go throw hate at this Barden if you know this Barden. I'm not trying to throw salt or throw salt. I'm not trying to throw shade or go hate on this Barden. I don't know what this Barden was thinking. Everyone has off days, I understand. Sometimes you make a comment you don't mean to. This Barden also may not have, been mad at this. They might have just been stating a fact. I don't know, but I just wanted to say that. Don't play the blame game. If you die, just accept it.
Can't take much more, darling. Your fire is feeding again.
So, I actually want to talk about that shout and how that was good for two specific reasons. So just real quickly, there are two assassins up. One of these assassins downs the Sienna, goes for a pounce on the Sister of the Thorn, misses, and what you do is you do a really good reaction shout in order to stagger him out of his pounce, and then you kill him. Now, this is good for two reasons. One, that was really good reflex on your part for the really quick shout. But two, right now, there are 2 of your teammates incapacitated and only 2 of you alive. There's also 2 assassins up, which means all it takes is these 2 assassins to pounce you, and the run is over. That's it. It's a team wipe. Which means that one of these assassins needs to die as fast as possible in order to make the situation much more manageable. And with your quick reaction time, you eliminate this assassin really, really quickly with your well-timed shout, and basically save the run. So really, really good job. And last but not least, this is a little nitpicky admittedly, but I still want to bring it up. Now, you, a couple of seconds before this clip, you got hit and you're currently at half HP. Now, you also have double Grims in your party, so you're also taking a penalty to your HP. So realistically, you only have a tiny sliver of HP left. But the thing is, you actually have your shout up right now, and there is no reason that you can't shout and fill up the rest of your bar with some temp HP. Because right now, you are dangerously low on health, and all it's going to take is one little boop to your snoot from any kind of elite, or really from any kind of solo enemy that's not the lowest tier enemy, for you to die. And as a Grim holder, especially, as a Grim holder, you need to be very, very aware of your own health and your own safety to make sure you don't lose that Grim for your team. So you definitely should be shouting right now whenever you can to keep your to keep your health up as high as you can. Because especially Mercenary Kerber, his ult actually fills really, really fast as long as you're like in the thick of the fight constantly. So ult charge is not a concern for Mercenary in that case. So just for Mercenary in general, you should really just be spamming that ult as much as you can. Thanks for watching. If you would like to submit your own gameplay for a review, make sure to join the Discord using the link down in the description below and follow the instructions in the relevant channel. See y'all next time.